This skit is absolutely hilarious, but now instead of the left, think about the establishment right reacting the same way.
Hey, would you like to have a civil conversation?
No!
Okay, have a nice day.
Dang it!
Terrifying for the intolerant, close-minded individuals that a lot of people believe are on the left, but now there's a big type of neocon establishment right that is essentially copying and pasting their homework. As of course, we have a lot of very serious geopolitical international news updates that we're not getting into because there's a beef and some very choice words used by Josh Hammer against Tucker Carlson for daring to platform someone and have a conversation, which he described as causing deliberate chaos, as he also called for Tucker Carlson to be neutralized. Dave Smith has some interesting things to say about this. He has a very interesting video, as well as Nick Fuentes that responded to this directly by talking about this ever so very salacious situation, as even him and Candace Owens are agreeing now, finally, on this one particular point of view here, as other people are saying, oh no, you're just exaggerating here, as let's just be honest with ourselves. The right is pissed that Tucker Carlson had a conversation with somebody, and I think the reaction by them is childish, pathetic, and absolutely insincere, as of course, this interview wasn't a softball interview. There's a lot of things that went on in there that no one's really talking about. We're going to be talking about that and a lot more, as of course, the full court press on canceling and trying to destroy Tucker Carlson is on, and I believe it will backfire like it should. Now, if you like these type of conversations, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you have with us because I think this issue is very important. The clip that we played in the beginning of this video was done by White Squirrel's Magic. It's pretty hilarious. And listen, the far left is very intolerant, but the right is becoming very intolerant as well here, as I kind of pointed out. Why does the establishment right think it's okay to shut down conversations or try to shut them down? And then call people Germans from the 1930s for while calling for them to be neutralized. As a lot of people are pointing out, that's what the left did, and that's how Charlie Kirk is no longer here with us. Now, listen, there's a lot of other things that are important to talk about. It looks like the ceasefire, once again, is off, and now it's kind of on again. A very weird, strange situation happening between Israel and the United States and foreign policy. But again, most conversations are surrounding this piece by the Daily Mail, written by Josh Hammer, that is behind their paywall. And it says, Tucker Carlson just hit a new low with their heinous betrayal of my friend Charlie Kirk, who is surely now rolling in his grave. Now listen, Charlie Kirk didn't want to platform Nick Fuentes. He didn't platform Nick Fuentes. He platformed other kind of radical voices. Now to say that he's rolling in his grave, I think that's a little bit of an exaggeration and a little bit of a hyperbolic statement. As of course, in this article, you specifically have him suggesting that Tucker Carlson should be, quote, neutralized. Now, people are like, no, he didn't really mean it. He really meant this. The exact statement is here. The fox is now comfortably encanced in the henhouse. And unless the fox is neutralized, the victim could be the entire extent of the GOP coalition itself. You're saying kill the fox because the fox is killing the chickens, and he's going to kill our Republican GOP coalition, the Republican GOP coalition, Trump coalition. It's filled with a lot of people from a lot of different political viewpoints. The right has more of a diversity of viewpoints than the left does, obviously. We're not in line. We're not good foot soldiers of the establishment. Now, I would say that this kind of establishment neocon right has a lot more in common with the left, especially with their ideology, especially with the way that they believe and love big government, and they want big government to finance other governments, and they want a perpetual state of war. That's one portion of the MAGA movement. Another portion is the exact opposite of that, and it represents individuals like Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, libertarians, Dave Smith, and other individuals who are saying, make America first again. That's what MAGA stands for. Let's focus on America. Let's make America great. And there's a big difference between the kind of foreign policy expansionists and the people who want to take care of America at home and want to be more of an isolationist type of country. I would say those are the biggest differences. And Israel is the big kind of topic, hot button issue that, of course, is centered around all of this. Now, whether you agree with that conversation or not, there's nuance to that conversation. As Josh Hammer now is adding to his argument that Tucker is the fox in the henhouse. We got to take him out, neutralize him, by saying, listen, this is not free speech. This is not the marketplace of ideas. He's just doing chaos.
To me, that is what the Tucker wing is trying to do. They're not trying to kind of have an inclusive movement, right? They're not trying to kind of have a marketplace of ideas, kind of free for all conversation. That's what they would have you believe. That's actually not what they're interested in doing. They're trying to burn it all down. They're trying to destroy the current iteration of the American right, literally destroy it root and branch, and then build something new in its stead.
Man, you don't agree with my ideas. You just want to hurt everybody. Pathetic. That's not even an argument. It's like, you're trying. You disagree with me on these particular nuanced ideas, or you're having conversations and you're pushing back and questioning things that I disagree with as well. But why are you doing this? Will Chamberlain had a more of a nuanced take on this particular issue, as there's a lot of people on the right now calling for his deplatforming, calling for his canceling, calling for his speech to be destroyed, and those efforts were going on for a long time. I would say whenever you're not able to have difficult conversations, or you're afraid of difficult conversations, it looks like you have personally something to hide. That's just me, in my opinion. And before talking about that, and then playing the Dave Smith response here, and the Nick Fuentes response, and Candace Owens directly going at this, before going into all that and a lot more, we just wanted to quickly remind you, check out wearechange.shop. Our #1 best-selling supplement is our creatine. You get a 2-month supply for $53. It is from Germany. It is from the highest, best quality source out there. A lot of people can't tell you where their creatine is from. That's because a lot of it is filled with crap. It's filled with fillers. Some of it is filled with heavy metals. I do not trust anything from any other country but Germany. You ask any kind of like scientist or expert in creatine, they're like, yeah, you want to make sure you get it from Germany. You get it from Germany. We've got one of the best sources out there from Germany. Clean, 99.99%. 2-month supply, $53. You support yourself and you support your cognitive abilities, which I think a lot of people on the establishment right need now more than ever, since their minds are very closed-minded. They're very emotional and they're not very logical, in my own personal perspective. As of course, there's very interesting studies now talking about creatine and mitochondria. As people are saying, creatine is not just a muscle supplement. It's one of the body's most important molecules for maintaining mitochondrial health. Inside nearly every cell, creatine works with your mitochondria to keep your energy flowing, antioxidant stress low, and membranes stable. People are saying it's a great energy shuttle. It protects mitochondria membrane. It reduces oxidative stress, triggers mitochondrial biogenesis, and that's a lot of stuff that I don't even understand, to be quite honest and frank with you. But I just literally posted. Do your own homework, right? I like to do research on Twitter to see what people are actually saying, because it's one of the ways to get somewhat of an accurate kind of depiction. I just typed in creatine into the search bar right here, and this is what it gives me. The first post here. Andrew Huberman also talked about how creatine is starting to make a big breakthrough. There's a lot of studies talking about creatine and anxiety. And again, that's something that I dealt with before, burnout, anxiety. And people are saying that this stuff gives you the brain feel. Now, you should work out when you're on creatine. You should work out, period. You should try to get good sleep. Take care of yourself, man. Like, life is short, and you want to make sure you build a good, strong temple that's able to handle stuff in a way where you are now in the best possible position you could be in. And that's why I started wearechange.shop. Check it out. Click the link down in the description below and support this independent media organization. Now, Will Chamberlain responded to this saying, listen, Charlie was a bridge builder. Tucker has done a lot of good work. I don't want him gate capped. I would like him, quote, to stop being an obnoxious prick. I don't think he's being an obnoxious prick. I think the obnoxious prick is calling for him to be neutralized, right? Trying to gatekeep, trying to silence him, trying to shut him up. As Dave Smith had some very interesting things to say about this, this is what he said in response to Josh Hammer.
I guess in like a larger sense, like the bigger symbol, the thing that I love about it is that you see all the neocons now freaking out. And it's like, yeah, fuck you. You don't control the conversation anymore. And even if that means, that fucking Nick Fuentes gets the thing and like, whatever, I don't care. Fucking you guys don't get to control the conversation anymore. And you know what? Nick Fuentes makes a lot of really good points. Okay, there's some things that we disagree on, but you know what? He makes some really good points on the other stuff. And I actually thought it was very interesting. Tucker got really into his story. Then I was kind of interesting to see Tucker go, oh yeah, that's what they do to people who criticize Israel. They try to ruin you.
And listen, they did try to ruin Nick. That's just a fact. Now, I always argued, it is this kind of counseling, it is this kind of ruining that festers and grows this type of ideology. And if you truly want to stop it, you need to address it with the real conversation, not just try to shove it at the into the corners and then think, oh yeah, it's gone. No, that's not how the world works. The world works when you challenge bad ideas with good ideas. And when you say conversation's over, you don't even get to challenge these ideas. These ideas are too hot and spicy to even talk about. Don't you dare talk about them. Shut down the conversation now. Everyone's like, no, I want to talk about it a little bit more. Don't touch the stove. I'm going to talk. Oh, give me that stove. Like that's literally what's happening here. And I've always argued, hey, and you could go back to my videos 15 years ago, because this is an ideological type of philosophical viewpoint that mainly comes from libertarian, freedom-oriented type of individuals who are saying, allow all the speech. We need all the speech to de-radicalize people in our society. And I think we need that now more than ever, especially with the economic calamities that are coming to a head here, that are going to be very vast, very severe, that are going to be very horrible. And because of that, we need to come to a point of view where it's like, let's put all the ideas on the table. Let's have them. And let's see which ones are the best. And let's see which ones are full of crap. And that scares the crap out of people who have something to hide and have an invested interest in preventing people from having those conversations.
And look, they ended up making you an actual Jew hater or something like that. And then they end up talking that through. And Nick was kind of similar to the way he was on my podcast, where he's just like, no, I'm not. He's like, no, I'm not saying it's all Jews, and I'm not preaching racial hatred, and that's not what I'm saying. And so if nothing else, you get this guy on record saying that. People get to hear both sides of it. I just always thought, like, and I think you agree with me, but I'll turn it over to you here, Rob. But like, it was always so, if you want any type of positive outcome, the last thing you ever want to do is heighten up tensions and heighten up censorship and get everybody crazy. What you want to do is have like a release valve. Hey, let's have a conversation about this. That's the path forward.
Exactly. And again, Dave Smith, another libertarian, he says, hey, Josh Hammer, Daily Mail. What the hell do you mean when you write that Tucker Carlson must be neutralized? Seems like a pretty reckless thing to say in the wake of the biggest political assassination of our lifetime, which is the topic of the piece. Also, who the F is Josh to decide who ought to be neutralized? Josh has not been elected to anything and has zero popular support. Millions of people love Tucker. Josh is known for being friends with Charlie and getting smoked in a debate with me twice. That is all. Listen, Josh Hammer, he doesn't get a lot of views. He released a video. I'm watching one of the videos. It has maybe 300 views, one like. And this is the guy that is dictating the policy on the right and saying, hey, enough of Tucker Carlson, one of the most popular media figures of our lifetimes, if not the biggest one, that was literally canceled on Fox News when he was the #1 show on Fox News. And now this Josh Hammer guy's like, yeah, we got to neutralize him. What? Conversation is reckless. We need to have a better one. Nick Fuentes responded to this by saying, we don't need permission from foreign agents and paid shills to talk with each other about what is best for our country. The Tucker Show was the first conversation between Americans and a foreign audience of Americans that was totally unsanctioned by Israel. And they hate that. Now, again, that's his take on this situation. I don't know what Israel is sanctioning or not sanctioning, or I don't know how the Israeli sanctioning board works here. But Nick then went on his show, and he made some good comments.
But what is really disturbing about the article is the way that it ends. He closes the usual screed, the usual paranoid, histrionic screed about anti-Semitism with a call for, quote, Tucker Carlson to be neutralized. To be neutralized. What does that mean exactly?
Now, again, Josh Hammer's trying to play this down now and be like, oh, no, I didn't mean anything like that. What are you talking about? He compared him to a fox in a hen house. I just got chickens. I'm learning. You know what happens when a fox gets in a hen house? Bloody murder, torture, death, heads flying off. That's what he's accusing. And you know what you do to foxes in a hen house? You neutralize them. Why are you calling Tucker Carlson to be neutralized and calling him a fox in a hen house?
And the significance should not be lost on anybody. We're nearly 2 months after Charlie Kirk was murdered, after he was neutralized. This is a year after Donald Trump was shot in the face and he was almost neutralized. What does that mean? This is a Jewish American married to an Israeli, completely loyal to Israel, calling for 2 Americans to be neutralized because we're not on board with Israel. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, there deserves to be a clarification. As Candace Owens is agreeing that Nick and Dave Smith and a lot of the other people on the kind of anti-establishment right, and that's the way I see it. Establishment, neocon, never Trumper, right? And then you have the MAGA, more libertarian, anti-establishment right, that is saying, no, America first. America first versus establishment, neocon, right-wing, Bush, Cheney, never Trumpers. That's how I see it. She came out and said, he's a shameless psychopath. Something is deeply wrong with him. We all know what it means to neutralize an animal, as he wrote. Between this and his documented hatred towards white men and his lies about Charlie Kirk, it's kind of amazing he's the editor at large of Newsweek. Yeah, it is. Now, Candace Owens came out and said, Josh Hammer is about to call for public executions again. I cannot believe the Daily Mail allowed this to be published. Josh behaves like a psychopath behind the scenes. Given his lies about Charlie Kirk's true feelings in the wake of his death, we should pray for Tucker. And again, Tucker is becoming the main kind of battering ram, and the main type of attack vector. And these type of words are not done in a way to bring the right together. This is divisive, destructive, dangerous language, especially in the face of the assassinations that we have recently seen, that need to be addressed, called out, and we need to say enough is enough. Now, again, he's posting, oh, look, this is what it means. He got rid of the third term here. The third term means to, take out. He says, one of the truly stupid or willfully disingenuous in both cases to think that neutralized here means anything other than what's common usage. Again, people are saying it's also weird that he talked about public executions on September 9th. We're treating Donald Trump here. And then he cut off the third sentence here. As the third explanation is a euphemistic way of saying kill or destroy, especially in a covert or military operation. I wonder why he didn't put 3 on there. Interesting, Josh. Brandon Tatum also is really not happy with Tucker Carlson as he's tweeting, "Stop anti-Semitism," saying Tucker Carlson will be the demise of the Republican Party. This man must be ostracized from public forums, insider circles, and every place in between. Otherwise, the GOP will morph into the radical abyss, like the Democrats have. Milo responded, "You can't be out here talking like this when it has been years and your truck still isn't paid off." My goodness, Milo is a holdback. Other people are saying, we are watching the implosion of the conservative movement. Now we're watching a real conversation happen. And again, Tucker pushed back on Nick for saying all Jews, right? And that was an interesting conversation. And that was a needed conversation. But of course, these people don't want to talk about that. They just want to say, cancel him. The Heritage Foundation just removed all references regarding Tucker Carlson from sponsorship pages. Interesting here. As again, the conversation's changing. It's pretty crazy how the right is fighting each other. Meanwhile, there's left-wing commentators literally calling for more murder of the right. And again, there's some people on the right that are like, okay, maybe. That's wrong. And if you agree that it's wrong, share this video. Those people need more creatine in their lives. They need to make sure their brains work. Their brains don't work. Pretty clear. I'm going to be here frozen for you buying creatine on WeAreChange.shop, watching this independent media organization, sharing these videos, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.